Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Isabel and I am the Starlight Witch. Today we're gonna do a VR, my very first VR, and it's Show Us Your Decks by Feeding My Soul 1212. I just discovered Angel's channel thanks to this really fun hashtag, and I just couldn't wait to join in. I'm gonna be doing two versions of this video, actually, one for tarot and one for oracle, because I couldn't help myself and I had too many choices and I just really want to do both. So, um, let's get this started. Okay, so prompt number one is a deck you want to use but hasn't seen any time on your reading desk yet. For me, that is the Caticorn deck. Now, I am a cat lover, and the moment that I saw this deck, I mean, come on. It's all pastel colors and kitty cats with rainbow. Lots of rainbows. I mean, look at these bags. Like, how can you not? Look at these bags. They're tiny kitty cats with unicorn horns and rainbows and pastel colors. I've etched mine in this lilac kind of color. And this is the cutest thing that you ever did see. I mean, even that double, come on. This is far too cute. Now, I had the intention of working with this deck during the month of February, but I have felt a little disconnected from my practice during the first 3 months of this year, and I didn't end up really working with many decks during that time, so these never made it to my desk. Look how adorable. Ugh. Everything about this is just so cute, and I cannot possibly imagine anyone not being happy and smiling when seeing this deck. Look at the sky. That hermit. Ugh. This is just the cutest. So I'm going to have to find a way to work with this deck at some point very soon, because I adore it and it makes me very happy. I mean, look. Come on. He's playing with a unicorn plushie. I can't. I can't. And look at the little mice with swords on the scale. Come on. I can't even. They're having tea by a lake. And it's so cute. I can't. Okay, so this is, it makes me happy. Look. Just, I can't. Focus. Thank you. I can't. I'm gonna leave it there. But this is the cutest thing ever, and I can't wait to use it. And this is the Caticorn Tarot. Can I speak? Thank you. Yes, Caticorn Tarot by Pamela Chen. The artwork is by Delphine Dion. Ugh, I'm sorry. I hope I'm not butchering your name. And this is by US Games. Love it. Okay, prompt number 2. The deck that's the 12th from the right on your shelf. Now, I have an absolute disaster on my shelves at the moment. They are being stored in many different places, and it's a disaster. So, I just randomly chose one, and that is the Scorpio Sea Tarot. This is by Maggie Stiefvater. It's based on a book called The Scorpio Races. How did I forget that? It was one of my favorite books of last year. Anyways, sorry, it's late and my brain is mush. So, please bear with me. But yeah, this is the Scorpio Sea Tarot. It's by Llewellyn. The art is by Maggie Stiefvater and the text is by Melissa Sinova. Now, You don't have to have read this book to enjoy the deck. I know that a lot of people don't enjoy it because it has a lot of portraits, I suppose. I etched mine in blue, and honestly, if it wasn't for the book, I probably also would have never got this deck. But I really do love the book. It is absolutely fantastic. It has a lot of, let's say, Fae lore in it because the horses that they use for those races are actually fairy horses, kelpies, as they are usually known. It is based on an island that I'm pretty sure would be somewhere here in the UK. And I really, really love Maggie Stiefvater as an author. This deck is very unusual. It does have a lot of portraits like that. And I love, 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 love that the art was done by the author of the book. This is actually Core, the main horse in the book. And this is a scene. If you have read the book, you'll understand it. It's pretty good. Now, Maggie used to be a pet portrait artist before she was a writer. And she has a really colorful style that I really enjoy. Super duper love it. She did this with Prismacolor pencils on a funky orange paper that she loves to use for all of her illustrations. Sorry for the glare. Ugh, I hate it. Okay. But yeah, I just really love this one. This is again Core coming out of the sea. There are many cards that don't really have anything to do with the book. Lots of portraits like these. But I do love her art regardless. I mean, come on. Look at this guy. I do love animals. I have tons of animal decks, and I mean, he's hoarding gems, which makes no sense, but I love him. And a Highland cow, and I love everything. See, this is Sean, one of the leads on the book, and his horse, Core. And I just really love and enjoy it. And come on, full. And he's a kitty, and he's playing with butterflies, and it's just, ugh. This is also from a scene in the book, and it's fantastic. And it's so good. But I do have to say that I would probably not have it because of all the portraits kind of thing, if it wasn't for the book. If you like fantasy, I highly recommend it. It is a YA, so young adult, but it is really, really good. I adore Maggie's books in general. Look at the Ace of Swords. It's a unicorn. It's just so good. Okay, we'll end here. But yes, this is the 12th deck from the right on my shelves. Well, one of many. And this is the Scorpio Sea Tarot. If you want to read the book, it's called The Scorpio Races. I'll put a picture somewhere on the screen. Okay, prompt number 3. A deck you are contemplating rehoming. Well, rehoming decks is not something that I do very often. I do like to think that I choose carefully the decks that I bring into my collection, and therefore I very rarely feel the need to rehome decks. But I have done it in the past, and I, of course, will probably find myself doing so at some point in the future as well. Now, this is the Archangel Power Tarot cards. It's by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine. This was one of my first decks. You've probably seen all of these decks plenty of times. They're very easy to learn with because they have messages here at the bottom, right? And that makes it very easy when you are a beginner. Also, they tend to have a very positive sort of twist to them. And I really like having decks like this for before bedtime if I ever feel like pulling cards before I go to bed, because I want to have something nice and positive on my mind when I go to sleep. I know myself, and if it is not like that, then chances are I'm not going to sleep well or even at all. So, this is the type of decks that I like to use before bed if I ever pull cards. But for some reason, I haven't really connected very much with this one. I do have the guardian angel, I have the fairies, I have the animal, and I really like them, but I haven't fully been able to connect with this one at all. So I am considering it. Um, I'm still not sure what I'm going to do, to be fair and honest, but I am considering letting this one go. Even if only because I haven't really connected with it. So, yeah, this one is very out of print, like most of Doreen Virtue's decks. I don't really like the stance that she has now towards our community, but her decks really do work very well for me. So I do have many of them. Some for sentimental reasons and others because, well, they just really do work well for me. Anyways, prompt number 4. A deck you don't store on its original box. And that is the other one of Maggie's decks, which is the Raven's Prophecy Tarot. I made this bag for it. Very pretty. But I think I made it far too small. But this is a Llewellyn deck. So you know that it comes in those gigantic boxes. And I really actually do like those gigantic boxes most of the time. I etched mine in blue, but I have 2 copies of this one, which is rare for me. I don't usually have more than 1 copy of any deck, but I got this deck the first time before I started reading tarot because I love the book series that this is based on. Okay, this is based on a quartet of books called the Raven Boys. The whole series is called the Raven Cycle, and I really do enjoy those books. Just like with the other deck, you don't have to have read the books to enjoy it, to use the deck, but if you do, it adds an extra layer to the use of this deck, which is pretty cool. And it has very unusual images. It's not RWS clone at all. So it's not a deck that I would recommend for beginners, but it is a great deck. Like if you want to be taken out of your comfort zone, this is a fantastic deck. And I love Maggie's art and everything. So I got this deck the first time when it was first published, more as a collector's item because I do collect books. I do collect books amongst other things. And this could have been used for one of the prompts, but I have a different deck for that later. So yeah, I got it as a collector's item. And back then, Llewellyn was still publishing their decks with those big, clunky tuck boxes that get ruined really quickly, really fast. I have an amazing talent for destroying tuck boxes, and I hate that tuck box. I hate it. I hate all of them, even the smaller ones. But that huge one, I hate it most. I really do. It's just, it was awful. I am so glad that they have changed to sturdy boxes, even if they're still huge, because their guidebooks are worth it, especially the full color guidebooks that they are doing these days. But I really hate that stupid flimsy giant talk box. Hate it with a passion. I really do. So I eventually got a second copy of this deck with a sturdy box, and I keep my first edition, first print of the deck, both the guidebook and the deck of cards on that box on my shelf, and then I have the guidebook for this one and this second copy of the deck for use on its bag. The guidebook is just on my shelves because it doesn't fit on the bag. I mean, look at this. This deck is really something special. So this is the Raven's Prophecy Tarot that I store on this little bag, probably too little, that I made for it. And it is really cute. Okay, prompt number 5. A deck with more than 78 cards. Okay, now there is a lot of decks these days that have more than 78 cards, but I wanted to show you one that I haven't seen on many channels or on the VRs, because of course I have been watching VRs of these tag. Super fun, a lot. So I haven't seen these anywhere, and it is the Secrets of Paradise Tarot, inspired by Caribbean and Latin American culture and mysticism. This is an 81 card deck and guidebook by Leticia Ferrer Rivera and is illustrated by Laura Bello. Bueno, Laura Bello. Both the creator and the illustrator are Latin American. The writer is from Puerto Rico, if I remember correctly, and the illustrator is from Uruguay. See, we have them here. Yeah, it comes from well, it doesn't say exactly, but it does say that the illustrator is from Uruguay, and I'm pretty sure that I read somewhere in the guidebook that she is from Puerto Rico. Now, I myself am Latin American. I am from Venezuela. These are the bags. I etched mine in this blue that I think matches these very well over here. And I got this deck because, well, you don't really see many decks with Latin American representation or anything anywhere. This is one of the very few that I could ever find. Now, most of the things that are portrayed in this deck are based in like Puerto Rico sort of culture and their people, their traditions, their places. Even there are some cards here that depict real life people and real life places. Some of them are actually from Uruguayan culture, like the artist. This one here, I think it's Brazilian, from Capoeira. There is one card that represents Mexico, one card that represents Costa Rica, if I remember correctly. And, well, I was a little mad at the beginning because there is no card here that represents my country in any way. And that made me mad. I think this one over here could have been a great one to do so, because not only is Venezuela pretty high there on the number of Miss Universe, which is not really important in the in the big scheme of things, but it is a very big thing in my country. Everyone always looks forward to it and watches the whole thing on television, and there are skit shows. Well, there were, um, you know, kind of comedy shows and everything around it. And we are also the only country in the world that has two back-to-back wins on the Miss Universe. So I feel like it was a very missed opportunity um, to represent my country in there. But this is the only deck that really has Latin America in it. This is meant to be the writer, Leticia herself. And even though we all are different and we all have different traditions and things, this is also meant to be her, by the way. There are many things that we have in common, between all of our countries and cultures. Like, there are many traditional dresses and things that, see, this is one of the extra ones. 22nd, the universe. This is one of the extra cards. And see, the colonial era, it was just like this. Most of the cards are modern, but there are a couple that depict colonial times. I feel like this one as well. And you can see indigenous people from Latin America. This guy, I believe, is a personality, an important person in Puerto Rico. And here you have a Puerto Rican coin. Again, indigenous people. The goddess, this is meant to be the Empress. And she is a Latin American indigenous woman, which are, different than the American, the people from the United States, that are usually the indigenous peoples that you see on any deck when you see any. It's usually from the US. But in this deck, you get to see Latin American tribes. There is a lot of representation. Here you have gay marriage for the Four of Wands. And I'm pretty sure that you've seen people with different skin colors. Here you have a merman riding a shark. Very unusual. You have the Witch's Wheel of the Year for the Wheel of Fortune. Very interesting. This is also meant to be the rider as the High Priestess. So you get a little bit of RWS in there, colonial era kind of art. See, this one here, I think I remember, because I worked with this deck in June last year, and I think that she is based on a real life person. But you can see a lot of people that look and dress like her in my country. We have dresses that also look a lot like that. And you can see people from different skin tones, so you know that not everyone is of any particular look, any particular skin tone. And it's a really nice deck. See, this is from the Conquistadores era. So you see the two indigenous guys imparting some justice to a Spaniard conqueror on the card for death. Very interesting. So it's just really good. This one is for Argentina, which is of course the Argentinian tango, Temptation, the devil. So The Emperor is called the God. Another card with indigenous peoples representation. See, and you see people dancing. This is the one that's meant to represent Mexico. Um, but yeah, it's okay. This is the one that's meant to be capoeira. But the other one, maybe, well, I can't remember, but one of them is capoeira from Brazil, and this is the other extra card. So you have the universe, you have healing. Oh, well, and there is another one. Actually, there is. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, but there is a lot of things that you see in all the different countries from Latin America in here. This one, coexist. So there are three different extra cards. This one, of course, also represents people from different cultures and different faiths and how we tend to coexist harmoniously within our culture for the most part. So, this is the Secrets of Paradise Tarot. It's published by Hay House and it's by Leticia Ferrer Rivera and illustrated by Laura Bello. Okay, then we have prompt number 6, a deck with a cloud on the box. A deck with a cloud on the box. Now, for this one, it was a little tricky, but I landed on the Egyptian Art Nouveau Tarot. Now, I am obsessed. I have always been obsessed with Egyptian mythology, just like Greek mythology. And here you can see beautiful clouds. It looks like it might be just about sunset time. And it is really nice and really pretty. This is published by Scarabeo and it's by Julia Mazzalia. I probably butchered that. I cannot see the artist, but yeah, well. I etch mine in gold. These are the bags. It's really pretty. I love Art Nouveau style. And this is just such a pretty deck. The majors feature the gods and goddesses of the Egyptian pantheon. And the minors just like regular people, I suppose. Occasionally including the gods and goddesses as well. It does mention in the little white book which are the gods and goddesses being portrayed in the majors. And all the suits and the majors, of course, have different borders. So you see here this one for the majors. This one is the wands. This one is the cups. This is another major. This is a cities. This is the swords. And the pentacles are these ones. See, so they have 5 different types of borders and they're really, really pretty. I love them. I really do. I enjoy using this deck and it's so nice and easy to shuffle, as you know, it usually is with Los Scarabeo tuck box decks. It's very RWS inspired, not necessarily a clone, but it's very inspired by them. And it's really, really beautiful. Highly recommended if you love Egyptian culture and imagery and things like that. Let's end up on this 3 of Cups. It's so beautiful. It really is. Okay, this is the Egyptian Art Nouveau Tarot by Los Scarabeo. A deck with cloud on the box. Okay, now prompt number 7. A deck you've never shown on your channel. Now, I really just started my channel, so that's pretty much the whole of my collection. Most of my decks I have never shown. So I decided to go with a deck that I don't think I'll have any particular reason to show on any videos anytime soon. And for me, that is the Mystic Mondays Tarot. Now, it has these pretty hollow, silver hollow edges. I love them. This is, I would say, a very contemporary deck. It's mass market. It's published by Chronicle books. And I really enjoy it because it's very, very colorful. It's usually too contemporary for my taste. But it does have the kind of Victorial. This is a really good devil. Super duper love this card. It has this kind of Victorial illustration style that was very popular when I was in design school. So it really called to me for that reason. This is not a deck that I use often. There are certain cards that I don't necessarily like very much, like this World card, but there is an element of nostalgia in this deck for me, with my design school days and everything, and I really do love the colors. It is kind of pippish, which is not my favorite. I am feeling like I want to study Marseille soon. So far, I'm only familiar with the RWS. Look at this tiger. This could have also done for a prompt that's yet to come, but still. It is my favorite card, probably from this deck. I forgot what I was saying. Ugh. Anyways. Yes. I do feel like I want to study Marseille at some point soon, but I'm not very comfortable with reading pip-like decks just yet, so maybe this will see more use after I have at least started reading Marseille. But so far I have it because of the nostalgia factor with this type of illustration. Very Victorial, and I really do love how colorful it is. I really do appreciate that. So hopefully these will see more action on my reading table soon enough. Okay, and this is the Mystic Mondays Tarot. Okay, prompt number 8. A deck with another animal besides a lion on the Strength card. And for this one, I picked the Under the Oak Tarot by Los Scarabeo. This is created by Ofride and Strega delle Mele. I hope I haven't butchered that. I really hope I haven't butchered that. So this is a deck that I knew I had to have since the moment I saw it because I am deeply in love with the art. It is beautiful. I mean, come on. The depictions on it are not necessarily traditional, at least not RWS, but the art is everything. It has different mythologies represented in here. I hate that it doesn't have a lot of information about that in the little book, in the guidebook. As a Los Scarabeo deck, it has one of those multi-languages guidebooks, and unfortunately it doesn't really explain a lot of the choices that they made to represent the cards. But at least they do mention most of the time the iconography, the deities, the folklore that is being portrayed in the card. And I do appreciate that. But these, of course, you either have to go at it fully intuitive or do your own research. Like, for example, this one has Norse runes over here, but in the guidebook, it doesn't say what are those runes, why were they chosen, and things like that. Um, so you kind of have to figure it out by yourself. Now, of course, we're here for the strength card, and it is this one. I am pretty sure that this guy is a deity from a pantheon, maybe. I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think it is. And he is a satyr, I think. Well, anyways, he's a beautiful mythical creature. And the little girl that we follow through the deck, Anima, she's a blind girl and she goes through this fantastic world being guided by amazing creatures. So I do also love the concept behind this deck. And this is just a beautiful card because she is there just I can't think of the right word, but she's just there with a really scary looking creature and she's just connecting with him. You know, perhaps you can say that she's not scared of him because she can't see him, but she is just letting herself connect with the creature, and I really, really like that. This is a very beautiful deck. These are the backs, and it comes etched in silver in one of these really nice two-part boxes that Los Scarabeo sometimes does. I highly recommend it if you like it. I love using it. It's really nice. Prompt number 9. A deck that comes in a box inside another box. Now, this is a thing that a lot of publishers are doing these days, and I kind of hate it. I find it very unnecessary. But for this, I chose the Tarot of Tales, which, as someone that loves fairy tales, and I have a mini collection, yeah, of a fairy tale inspired tarot decks, I needed to have this from the moment I saw it. This is by Melinda Lee Holm, illustrated by Rohan Daniel Eason, and this is published by Cico books. And this is so elaborated. It comes with a sleeve. Okay. And then a really nice and sturdy box, magnetic closure. Very nice. Really beautiful and well made hardback guidebook that is also full color. Really beautiful. And then a two-part box, also very sturdy, inside the box. There it is. And this is the kind of box that would usually come with other decks. It does have a pull here, and I really like this deck. It does its own thing, so I haven't exactly figured out what its place in my collection is going to be, but I am not letting go of it. I mean, look at this Nine of Swords. Again, very non-traditional. You cannot say that this is anywhere near an RWS interpretation, but I love it. I just do. These are the backs. Look at this guy. I mean, how could I possibly let this go? I did do a little bit of work with this deck at some point last year. Love this guy, and actually, one of my favorite cards in this deck. I hope we um, look at the unicorn. I hope that we come across it as I'm flipping, but it is, if I remember correctly, the Three of Pentacles, and it's three raccoons inside of a coat. Very cartoon like. I absolutely. Here it is. Yes. Three of Queens, and you have three little raccoons on a coat stealing apples from a tree. How lovely. This is so much fun. I just adore it. But as you can see, this is a very non traditional deck. I love this Empress. It's very fairy tale like, but very unusual. So you kind of have to make your peace. This is weird. Sorry. You kind of have to make your peace with that fact and just like read it fully intuitively, or just I don't know, find another use for the quirkiness of these. But I do love the art, and it's very special, very different. So it's not going anywhere. I just need to figure out. I got this one so many times when I was working with it. I just need to figure out how to use it in my practice, and then you will see more action. Look at these. But yeah, it will see more action in my reading table. This is an animal deck. I don't think that there is a single human in these. I love that card. Ugh, it's just lovely. But yeah, it's very interesting, very quirky. Probably my favorite thing about it is that on the guidebook it has 5 different perspectives that you can read these cards. Let me show you. So for any card, major, minor, or chord, you have some keywords. It tells you the realm where they live in, which is usually related to the elements. And then you have 5 different categories: in the past, at present, on the horizon, from above, and deep within. And all of them have different messages. And of course, there is a spread over here somewhere. Here. Navigating influences. And so all the different positions have something to do with those categories. So you can read them like that. And for the work that the way that this reads is very, very good for like storytelling and things like that. So, for example, this is the Star card, a huge favorite, my favorite card in the tarot on any deck. You have some keywords here that usually are very in line with RWS, and then you have like in the past. You sat alone at the edge of a forest in the dark, feeling lost. Clouds parted in the sky just in time for you to see a shooting star. You make a wish and lean back to find a deer, rabbit, and squirrel, all sharing this moment with you. Like, how amazing is that? At present, animals gather to gaze up at the morning star, shining brightly in the emerging dawn. Predators and prey, territorial rivals, huddled in a moment of peaceful community, grateful for the promise of another day. Like, this is. Sorry, guys. The lighting might be a little different, but my phone just decided to die, and I had to stop and charge it for a little bit before I could end this video. So I'm gonna try to speed it up and film the rest of this, and the rest of the filming that I wanted to do today is gonna have to happen tomorrow. But we are on prompt number 10, a deck that will never be on your top 10. Please, nobody hate me for this, but it is the RWS. Um, I've never really felt drawn to the traditional RWS. I don't have anything against it, quite the contrary. I decided to get myself a copy so I could have a study deck, and I went for the universal weight. I also decided that I wanted to trim it because I hated the borders. It has these beautiful bags, and it was the very first deck that I trimmed. I didn't do a fantastic job on it, and I etched it with a gold sharpie, which also was not a fantastic job. This is still in order, as you can see, because I don't use it for readings. I have it because I do believe that any tarot reader that uses the RWS system needs to have at least one of these, but I don't use it for readings. I have memorized most of the images, as anyone who learns to read with this system. And I have this one for the purposes of study, but I don't really ever use it. So I love Pamela Coleman Smith. I respect her legacy. However, this is not really art or a deck that I vibe with the most. I really prefer other decks. But I do need to have one in my collection, and I do love these particular recoloring by Mary Hanson Roberts. I love the vibrant colors. I super love the stars in the back. As you can probably tell from my handle and everything that I usually have on my table, I am quite obsessed with the stars. And so that is the Universal Weight Tarot deck. This one is published by US Games Systems. Ta-da! Okay. Prompt number 11. A deck you associate with the color green. Okay. So, to be fair and honest, the first deck that ever came to mind when I read that prompt was the Forest of Enchantment. But of course, it is a very obvious choice that many people have shared, and so I decided to share a different one. This is an indie deck. It's called the Spirits of the Woodland Tarot. It was created by Nicole Stone, and this was a Kickstarter that I supported last year. I do associate it with the color green because, well, the box is green, though you probably cannot see it very well in this lighting. It's already sunset and it's getting dark, and I'm really gonna have to stop filming soon. The guidebook is also green. There are so many details in this deck that are a rich forest green, including the bags, that also have these very pretty, is not really showing at all, but is gold rainbow sort of foil in here. It's very pretty, comes etched in this matte gold, and it's just such a pretty deck. It's basically an enchanted forest. These I could have used as well for the extra cards because it has plenty. It has for the seasons, and it has well, I can't remember. I know that it has the seasons, and I think it has different times of day. It's really, really magical. I adore it. It reads amazingly, and it has the cutest. I mean, look at these lovers. I just love it. Everything is hand drawn. It has fantastical creatures as well as creatures that already exist. See, this one is called Day. There's plenty of green in this deck. And I do think of it. Look at this otter family. Ugh, they're just so cute. And it does come to my mind Knight. See, it has plenty of extra cards. When I think of the color green, although I do have to say that the main reason why I backed this deck on Kickstarter, it's because of one particular card that really reminded me, look, these are winged mice. How cute. Ugh. Don't like spiders. But hey, it's, oh, and look at this. If you like Harry Potter, this kind of looks like a Patronus. Um, so yeah, I actually got it for a particular card that reminded me of the Raven cycle, which I talked about earlier with the Raven's Prophecy, a series of books. And there is a dream forest on that show. That show, fucking hell. Sorry, pardon my French. On that series, there is a magical forest, dream forest called Cape's Water, and there are legends of Welsh kings and a lot of really fun stuff. And there is one card that's probably going to be at the very end of this whole shebang that really reminded me of that book. And so I decided that I needed it. And I have not regretted it. Look at this chariot. Oh, it's whimsical. It's beautiful. Look at this world car. I also love the Justice card. Look at this Justice. Isn't that the most stunning one ever? This wheel with all the different seasons. Like, how cool is that? Of course, oh, there it is. It's Temperance. And in the book, of course, you have ravens, which is why the deck that the author made is called the Raven's Prophecy. And this is technically a magpie. But this whole situation here, and the rest of the magical forest, look at that death, really reminded me of those books. So I decided to get this deck, and it is really, truly magical. And very, very green. The box is green, the backs are green, the guidebook, and even the bag that actually came with the deck, it's on this green velvet. Very beautiful. It's not showing properly, but I've seen it in person and I can tell you that it's green. Green and gorgeous. So that it is the Secrets of the Woodland. Prompt number 12, a second-hand pre-loved deck. Now, this is pretty much half of my collection. It really is just half. I love to get a good second-hand deck whenever possible. And for these, I have chosen the Friends Tarot cards. So yeah, this deck has been out of print for a while, so sorry about that. I absolutely adore that show. So once I found out that this deck existed, I needed it. It was already out of print, so I could only get it secondhand because I refused to get a bootleg copy, which are plenty. I etched mine in yellow. I also trimmed it just a little bit because I also got the Golden Girls one. I adore that show so very much. And when I got it, there was one of the cards, or a few of the cards, that had some damage on the borders. So I decided to trim it just a little bit to remove the damage. And then I decided that I liked it better with the smaller borders. I do feel like they need them because of the titles. But it was so much better with smaller borders that I decided to do the same with this deck. They are both by the same publisher, which is a Smith Street gift. Love this card, love Joey. I absolutely adore this deck. Will act for pennies. I love it. So yeah, it took a while to get one for a cheap price, but if you are patient enough, as it happens with most decks, even if they are out of print, you can get them for pretty good prices. But patience is key to get them for good prices. I love Monica, I love the star. I absolutely adore this deck. She is fabulous, and we're gonna leave it here. I'm seriously trying to speed this up so I just don't have my phone dying on me again. Way to kill the fun, phone. Okay, prompt number 13. A deck with the most used guidebook. Now, I am a guidebook girly. I will always use the guidebooks, especially when I'm just reading for myself. But this is one that I adore. This is the guide to the everyday witch. I'm pretty sure that everyone has seen this deck. It is basically a modern classic. It's by Llewellyn, uh, written by Deborah Blake, and the art is by Elizabeth Alva. I absolutely love this deck. It is my most favorite deck in the whole world. It is one that I've used for myself, but also for others. Um, I miss it when I don't use it, and there will never be a top favorite, top 10, or top anything for me that doesn't have this deck. I adore it. I absolutely love the way that Deborah Blake writes. This, just like any Llewellyn guidebook, has a full color picture of the card, the title. It has a little sort of, it's not exactly an affirmation, but I don't know, it has fun tidbits here and there. Another one here, and then you get a description with everything that is going on in the card, as well as some of the meanings. Then you get on the bottom a section that's called Things to Consider, which kind of has sort of reversed meanings for the cards. And it also, some of the cards have a notes section. I don't really use it, but I suppose it's nice to have. I love the way that Deborah Blake writes. She infuses everything that she does, not only with a lot of knowledge, but also with humor. And this is the first deck that I really bonded with, and the deck that I worked with the most. So it is the guidebook that I really truly learned with, and that I've used the most, and I adore it. I've also used it because it has here, I mean, Deborah Blake is also a Wiccan high priestess, and she has some rituals here to uh, bless and consecrate your cards. And I actually use that with all of my decks. I have done that with every single deck that I own before I ever read with it. And of course, I have personalized that little the little ritual that she has here. Well, I come here. Yeah, it's here. Some tarot extras, 3 spells for use with the tarot. You have the main blessing and consecrating of the cards in here. Then you have a cleansing spell for used cards. And there is a spell for a good reading. And I also usually use this little spell before I do any reading, but I have made subtle changes to fit it to myself and my beliefs and my practice, because I'm more pagan rather than Wiccan. So I've changed it, but this guidebook I really love, I really enjoy. If you're a beginner, this is a perfect deck to start on your journey. The guidebook is amazing, and I use it in more ways than one. So that is the Everyday Witch. And prompt number 14, a deck with water on the box. Now, I do have um, many decks that could fit in this, but I chose the Tarot of the Divine. This is by Yoshi Yoshitani, and the art is absolutely gorgeous. You can see here that's a bit of water here reflecting the moon, and it's really gorgeous. I probably don't need to spend long on this deck because everyone has seen it, understandably so. The art on this deck is absolutely dreamy and fantastic. I've etched my cards on this teal that I think matches the backs um, well enough, fairly enough, and I adore this deck. Now, this is the first deck that I got for myself when I decided to read tarot, and it was the first deck that I used. But I felt like I was not bonding with it all that much because I didn't know. I mean, this includes so many stories, so many fairy tales and folklore from all over the world. And even though I was familiar with many of them, there were more that I wasn't familiar with. And it just added an extra layer of pressure for me when learning the tarot. I felt like I needed to know both things very well: the lore, the tales, and also the meaning of the cards, and that sort of put me off from really bonding with this deck. And so I decided to get another deck before I gave up on tarot. I absolutely love this Lovers card. And that's how I landed with the Everyday Witch. But I still absolutely love these cards. I'm never getting rid of this deck, and I do find that I have bonded a lot more with it since I removed the pressure of getting to know all the stories that are portrayed here. And I still love it. I love it. I recommend it. I do want to get the book that has all the stories, and there is another workbook that you can use that has all the symbology and a lot of things from this deck. I also want to get that and work with it. I haven't yet. And this is never, ever, ever leaving my collection. But yeah, I needed a little break from it and to really learn with a different deck. But I love it. It doesn't take anything away from it. Absolutely love this deck. So this is the Tarot of the Divine by Yoshi Yoshitani. And this is a gorgeous card, one of the very few that have some Latin American representation on it. This is La Leyenda de La Llorona, which exists in pretty much every Latin American country. And I love it. So that is the deck with water on the box. That was the moon card on the box, though we didn't come across it. Can I find it? Well, I don't have that much battery left, so honestly, filming really kills my phone's battery. So let's do the last prompt. Is a deck that has your favorite card and why. And for this prompt, I've chosen the Tarot of the Curious Creatures by Chris Ann. Now, this is a lovely deck. I didn't know if it was for me at the very beginning because I didn't know if I was going to really vibe with the anthropomorphized creatures, especially because they have human bodies. They have animal heads and human bodies. So I didn't know if this was going to work for me. But one time when Llewellyn, no, when Hay House, this is published by Hay House, when Hay House was having one of their 50% off sales, I needed an extra deck to get free shipping, so I decided to have a look into this to decide if I actually needed it. And I came across a specific card, a picture of that card on their website, and I decided, okay, I need it. Now, I wish that I could say that it was some really profound, really, special card or something that really changed my perspective on the tarot and whatever. But truth be told, when I had to come up with a deck for this prompt, all of those really, um, those really smart choices uh, for the decks and everything. Okay, well, I'm really sorry, guys. My phone died again. To be fair, I only charged it until it was like at 20% because I thought that would be enough, but it wasn't. It is just, it's really killing my battery. So I'm sorry, it is later. I have the ring light on and I will try to be better at this in the future. Well, I think, I think. I was talking about how, like, all the super profound choices for like favorite cards and things like that completely escaped my mind, and I just like let it simmer for a couple days, thinking that it's gonna come back to me. I'm gonna come up with a great, really profound card and all that jazz. But as it turns out, I never did. And I didn't want to make a mess of my things, going through my decks until I found like this really cool, profound choice like everyone else has been posting. So instead of doing that, I decided to do it a little differently. So like I said, I hadn't made up my mind on whether or not I actually really needed this deck, if I was going to like it because of the human bodies with animal heads. I didn't know if that was gonna fly for me, but on one of Hay House's 50% off sales, I ended up looking on their website and having a look at this deck. And then I came up, sorry, my brain is fried, sorry. I came across this card and it cracked me up. So it is one of my most favorite cards on any deck ever, but it's not because it's like super deep and profound, but because it's hilarious. And that is this Five of Swords. I just love this card. And come on, you're never gonna hear me saying that about any other Five of Swords. Like, who wants to pull a Five of Swords? Ever. On any reading. Like, this is a type of card that when it comes up, you just go like, oh, fuck. But, when this one comes up, it cracks me up. It's like this cat lady. I mean, she has the face of a cat, the head of a cat, and there is this mouse dressed up like a fencer with these really old swords, and he's like on guard, and it reminds me of like cartoons, Tom and Jerry, the Looney Tunes, and like all of those old cartoons, and it cracked me up. Like, I spent more or less 5 minutes laughing, and I just knew that I needed that deck right there and then. And so I bought it. And I have worked with it several times. And I absolutely adore this deck. I really do. Grison's writing is absolutely fantastic, and it's just fun. It's fun, it's quirky, it has bright colors, which I really truly love. It's just it puts a smile on my face. I mean, come on. Look at this. Look at this guy. And this guy. Like, come on. This is a deck that I use when I want to be happy. But it doesn't mean that it won't give you just fantastic readings, because it does. It just does. Chris Ann is just a magical human being. I etch mine in all sorts of bright colors. I don't know if I want to redo it in a, like, I don't know, lime green or something to match sort of this kind of thing. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. It's fun with all of those colors anyway. But yeah. And now I am going to stop being a chatty Cathy because my phone doesn't like it. And I don't know. I hope that is okay with you guys too, because I talk a lot. Okay. I'm sorry. I just started my channel and I've never really put myself out there at all ever. I have a fear of public speaking, like probably most people do, but I've never really done videos for anything, and I don't know. I've probably been very shy so far, and I hope I get more comfortable as time passes. Sorry, there's cat hair in here, just like everywhere else in my house. And that means that I'm gonna be very chatty on a lot of my videos. So I hope you're in for the ride and that you enjoyed watching me show you my cards and talking a lot, because I have spent a lot of time talking. And I cannot say that it's gonna be any different from now on. So please like, subscribe if you'd like more content like these. I am going to make another video of this same tag, but showing you only Oracle decks. And it's gonna have to be tomorrow when I can charge my phone a lot more. And I also have more tags coming and just all the tarot tube shenanigans. So thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with me despite all of my yapping, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye!